Today marks the commencement of a 2 days conference in Kampala, hosted by Uganda, which aims to gather the African Ministries of Finance and institutional partners of the Coalition of Finance Ministries for Climate Action. The primary focus of the conference is to establish strategies and mechanisms for obtaining funds for climate financing. Honorable Henry Musasizi, the State Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in charge of general duties, highlighted the main focus points that Ugandan government is emphasizing in addressing the issue of climate financing while officially opening the conference.
We are financing the areas of agriculture, the areas of water and environment, and the infrastructure, the main infrastructure. We normally have a component of climate issues in all these projects we do. So the areas of focus are basically those ones, in the areas of agriculture, in the area of water and environment, and also in the area of public infrastructure. These investments mainly have an element of climate change adaptation.
Minister Musasizi adds that when it comes to climate funding, currently the focus is on internal revenue, possibility of grants, and elements of borrowing.
First of all, we are looking at our internally generated resources through the tax revenue, what we normally call Government of Uganda funding. We are also looking at the possibility of grants from our external partners. Basically, those are the areas, and some element of borrowing to finance specific projects.
Minister says that as Uganda, they have made a progress, but there is still a lot to handle regarding climate change adaptation and mitigation.
We've made considerable progress. As you know, there is a lot of need because of the threats. Climate change is really manifesting in many aspects around our societies and around us generally. So there is we've made progress, but there is still a lot to do, and that is why we are aggressively looking for financing, especially the grants.
Sam Mugume, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Coalition of Finance Ministers for Climate Action Uganda, in his remarks noted that Uganda has been affected by climate change, which explains why climate financing is very vital at this level.
I'm giving that background to show you as a country, an African country, why we got involved so much. One, Uganda, we knew and we know that we depend on natural resources for livelihood, number one, but number two, for economic growth. And we could see that climate shocks were affecting us in terms of expenditure, in terms of economic growth. So it was critical for us as Ministry of Finance to come in.
Joseph Nganga, the Chief Executive Officer of Africa Climate Summit, emphasizes the importance of securing a significant funding to address the impacts of climate change in African countries. He also highlights the necessity of incorporating renewable energy into strategies for climate change adaptation.
We as Africa must get a substantially larger portion of climate finance at the appropriate terms, because we deliver the greatest impact per dollar invested on climate impact. But to do that, we need energy. Energy from renewables, if I may use my second hat as the interim CEO of the Global Energy Alliance to push renewable energy. We need clean energy to unlock that potential on the continent.
Meanwhile, Director Climate Change and Green Growth Development and African Development Bank, Dr. Anthony Ngongo, commended Uganda and Rwanda for involving issues of climate adaptation in their budget.
I really want to commend Uganda, countries like Uganda, countries like Rwanda, for climate budget tagging, being able to quantify, identify what is in the budget.
African Ministries of Finance and institutional partners of the Coalition of Finance Ministers of Climate Action seeks to establish strategies and mechanisms for obtaining funds for Africa's climate financing. Julius Mhomuza, Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.